Welcome to Que Pasa. Bienvenido.
Thank you for having us.
Happy to have you as part of the Que Pasa family, our familia.
Thank you. Thanks for welcoming us.
Congratulations on your Primetime Emmy Award, first Hispanic to win Supporting Actress in a Comedy Series.
It's crazy.
That's amazing.
It's amazing.
It's amazing. So I know you were born in New York, the daughter of Puerto Rican parents. Tell me that experience growing up in New York.
Yeah, my dad was born and raised in Chelsea. His mom came, I think it was in 1919 by boat. And my mom came, I believe, in 1944. And it was rough.
Yeah.
It was rough back then.
Did that rough, as you describe it, background prepare you for a rough industry such as television, stage, film?
I had no idea how to find this.
Sure.
You know, we were just, trying to survive in the South Bronx, in the projects, and there was no path. Even though my mother always believed in me, she would have me imitate the character Erica Kane from All My Children to entertain company. And I just naturally would just do it, and I just knew. And she always believed I could do it. There was just no way of knowing how. Sure. And so, life will send little angels our way and people who noticed that there was something more. And it was a long grind. I had no idea. Eventually in college, I took a couple, I did a bunch of plays because I was like, I think this is what I want to do. And then it just unfolded from there. I met David.
And David, you've been an alumni in the show. I'm happy to have you as part of our familia. Born in the Bronx. Tell me a little bit about that upbringing and that grit that has helped you in your career.
From the Bronx, and I grew up in a middle-class family. My parents were born in Ponce, and we grew up started off at Hunts Point, and when I went to high school, we went to Stevenson High School in Soundview area of the Bronx. And I had a really good family, a really good parents, and really helped me, and just my brother, my sister, we just had a good upbringing.
So how did you two guys meet?
We met at a theater company. They started a theater company, Labyrinth Theater Company. At that time, it was called Lab, Latino Actors Base, which was around '92, and that's where I met Liza. She was one of the original 13 that we had. And then, a couple of years went by, and then, she came to her senses, and we started dating, and then we got married. 26 years married, yeah.
You mentioned the Labyrinth Theater, or Lab. What does that mean to both of you? Is it a place that you felt you were able to hone your craft?
Absolutely. It was created by John Ortiz, Gary Perez, Paul Calderon, as in reaction to the fact that Death and the Maiden was being produced on Broadway with no Latinos in it. And they said, the producers were like, well, we couldn't find any. In New York City, you couldn't find Latino. So they got really angry, and they went to Max Ferrah, who owned Intar 1, Intar 2 at that time, and he offered us a space that was just meant to be an actor's gym where we could work on whatever we wanted to work on. That if you wanted to work on Shakespeare or write something, to be able to stretch and work, get outside of your lane as an artist. If you're an actor, you can write, you can direct, and have a safe space in which to do that. So that's what that was born out of. Initially, it was for Latino actors, but as work, if we wanted to be true to the experience of being a New York artist, we decided to expand it and open it up. And here we are, 32 years later.
Yeah. I think we wanted to express how it is living in New York City. Mm-hmm. And New York City is a melting pot, and we wanted to represent that. And I think that's why we opened it up, and when we went from Lab to Labyrinth, and just to try and have writers that write about the New York experience, whatever ethnicity you might be. You know, predominantly being Latino because that's how we started the company.
So that it looks like the people you're riding the subway with.
Exactly,
That the stories reflect that experience.
I love that. I love that. Earlier in the green room, we were chatting, and David, you mentioned, you know, creating your own project, writing your own roles, your own play, which you did many years ago.
I think it's up to us to create stories, to write stories about our culture, because other people wouldn't even know how to write or what to write. And I think it's our part. We need Latino writers, Latino directors, Latino producers. We need to kick doors down, and we need to get our story out there because we're as interesting as anybody else. And I think that I know that there's been issues about representation in this industry, and I think, yes, there's a problem with that. But I feel that Latinos need to take the initiative and write their stories and push their stories in, and you got to continue to do that and not give up when doors slam in our faces. Just kick those doors down and continue to do it.
Yeah, I think that, you know, that and the gatekeepers have to be held accountable because everybody has to think outside of the box now. Everyone. With streaming services and less being produced, we just have to get creative of how to join forces and create our production companies, and that's not easy. It is hard, but like I say, keep believing. You know, if you have to, you can't wait for somebody else to write for you. I wrote several solo shows, and I stopped doing it because I want to be interacting with other people. But it didn't. It started out as just a writing exercise, which was one-page monologue of a memory. And that memory led to other memories and led to other stories and all of the triggers and all of the things that sparked until it grew into an 80-minute, 13-character solo show. That got the attention of others who could hire me, or at the very least, put my face and my range in their, you know, in their periphery, so that even if it didn't pay off immediately, it was impactful. Yeah. And so, you know, I had that experience. I don't wanna. I wouldn't say I'm really turned on by writing. I'm not, but I'm glad I pushed myself, and that other people watching recognized, oh, I had that story. That was I went through this, I went through that. And for me, that is some of the most meaningful work, is when I could play characters that have humanity that girls like myself recognize.
Sure, that's beautiful, that's beautiful. I've heard, I listened to a speaker recently at an event, and he was saying, as Hispanics being 22, 24% of the population, he felt boards of directors should be 24%. C-suite, roles, TV shows, we should be 24% of the population. You turn to some channels and there's no content that covers our stories. When there are channels playing something from the 1970s on repeat, you know, diverse stories are so important. People need to see themselves to be able to achieve and reach higher. So I really appreciate that you guys are walking the walk and talking the talk.
And also the
leading by example.
Yeah.
Trying to, yeah.
I'm gonna call both of you out because I'm half Puerto Rican, so I could say this. The Boricuas are very humble. When I was giving an award to David, you won the Caballero Award recently, you told me, oh, you have in here philanthropy. And I don't necessarily consider myself a philanthropist. So I'm talking to Mandy Gonzalez, who's been on the show, and I was like, oh, I'm going to talk. I love David. He came to the school and he gave of his time. The definition of philanthropy, pero Latinos, and especially Boricuas, were like, it's okay that you do good things, and I'm going to give you compliments, and you could fight it because you're humble, and that's fine. I love people that are humble, but you guys do a lot of good, and you should be recognized.
Thank you.
How many years have you been married?
26.
6.
And we've tried to maintain the integrity of the characters that we play. We've both have turned down things that we don't feel that the character shows a positive look on. Not that we got to play good guys or bad guys, but the character that you're playing has to have an impact. Has to have an impact with someone who's watching saying, I understand that. I've been through that. And he's handling that with integrity, and that's what I want to see. That's what I want to see more of on television and film. You know, not, you know, thug number one in a movie. It's something that we want to create and just explore and raise the awareness that, yeah, we have a lot of good to present to the world, and we've done a lot of good in the past, and we haven't been recognized for it. I love it. You know, and so this is an opportunity in this kind of industry to do that.
I'm going to tee up a nice gift for our viewers. You guys have been generous enough to hook us up with some footage from The Bear. So we're going to show viewers right now, you guys together, and then I'm going to ask you about that.
Remember when we were 20?
Yeah. Was it scary like this?
Yeah. Different, scary, but yeah.
Yeah. I never want you to worry, baby.
So let's talk about that scene. What was it like working together, husband and wife, on a great show, which has won so many awards, including your fabulous Emmy?
Well, it was a gift for me. It was a gift. You know, I was doing a play in New York, and we find out that there's an episode that Liza was on, and there's a character of her husband, and they asked me if I wanted to play it, so they would pick me up after the matinee on Sunday, fly me to Chicago. We would shoot on Monday, and I'd come back to do the show Tuesday night. We did that a couple of times, and we were able to create a really good character in that show. And what's great about it is it shows a relationship, a marriage, two Latinos, two Puerto Ricans, that is a positive one. It's not like, oh, he just got out of jail, or like he's an alcoholic. No, this is just a family, a couple that's trying to survive in, you know, a bad economic world and where they're at. And, you know, I like the fact that it was shown with a lot of love, and it was in a lot of class.
I love working with him. It's so easy. Like we've been working together. Theater, you know, our theater company, we've worked on a lot of plays together, and he's just such a pro. And you know, they approached me. They were like, "Do you think that David would want to be on the show?" I think maybe, yeah. And then they approach you, but I didn't know. Like, I just assumed because Tina was so rough around the edges, you know, and not in judging it. Life is hard, and you know, you're just trying to survive in a world or in an environment that you're not like the others, and so you know, you got to be tough. And I just assumed that, like, she's so rough. Imagine what. I thought he was going to be my ex or something, you know. And then I read the script, and it's David. He's like humble and supportive and kind and hardworking. And I was like, I started crying when I read it.
So talking about Tina, tell me what it's meant to play that role, and how is she similar or dissimilar to Liza?
I have a bad temper.
Is this correct, David?
Where's my camera? No.
I feel like my struggle in this business, and like so many people I'm hearing from whatever profession, the struggle of working poor people. What happens when you are let go after having security for a long time? What happens when you are of a certain age and you live in a society where people think, oh, older, you're dispensable? I was told that you're the face of the working class woman, and I was like, that's epic. But if that's true, I'm honored. I'm so happy that people from all walks of life I'm getting, are crying, or that's my mother, that's my tia, I went through that. Male, female, all walks of life are connecting.
I heard that when your lovely wife gets recognized, and she's a hero to kitchen workers everywhere, that you get a certain treatment at a restaurant. So
God.
please talk to me about this.
First of all, I love going out to restaurants with Liza because immediately I look over to the kitchen and you see this, the chef looking. Next thing you know, we have a couple of really nice plates that they just bring out, and it's just amazing. And it happens a lot.
It doesn't happen.
It happens a lot.
It happens sometimes.
Sometimes it's a lot when it hasn't happened before. So yes, I do take advantage of that.
Love it.
So I have to eat a lot because
And you maintain it.
You gotta.
This isn't a challenging question. Liza approved it. So what has your most challenging role been?
My most challenging role was, I would say, the first main role I had in Oz, because I played this prisoner, Enrique Morales. And the most challenging part of it is to try to find some kind of humanity in this character that was a prisoner in this jail, and he wasn't very, he was
Violent.
He was violent. He was a killer. And I always try to find the humanity of that character. And I think I succeeded some of the time, in trying to make that character where, even though he's a character that could be despicable to other people, I want to show parts of that character that people can relate to and understand the situation in which he's in. And so, I mean, it's one of my favorite roles. It was one of my most challenging, also because it was one of my first roles. So I was still, trying to find my way as an actor. And, Tom Fontana gave me an opportunity to go into this environment where there's all these seasoned professional actors. It was like going to college for acting, but you're actually working on a show. So that, I would say that would be one of my most challenging roles.
Liza, I often ask guests about food. Food's very important. Music and food are important in the Hispanic community. So tell me, it's a two-sided question here. Tell me a little bit your favorite dish, and if there's one that either one of you prepares during the holidays.
I do the whole the pernil, the arroz con gandules, I don't make pasteles. I never could pull it together.
I'm gonna surprise you now. Marco Gonzalez, my attorney, was bringing pasteles today. You didn't show up.
Oh no.
That's on you, man.
Fired. Just kidding.
He's gonna connect with you. Apparently his dad's a carnicero in the Bronx, and once in a while a town car comes, J-Lo orders his pasteles. So they're good.
Right.
Yuca and plátano y yautía, I guess. Yautía.
Is it in a truck? Does he have
He has a little, it's like a little butcher shop.
Little butcher shop.
And he sells
Okay.
them more during the holidays.
All right.
But he usually brings me a dozen.
With coquito.
And a little
I make
coquito.
coquito too.
Have you ever made pasteles? Because I'm the guy with the banana and the yautía. I have no skill. I was just a muscle.
Yes.
Grind.
I've been on the assembly line
Okay,
with family
okay.
members, losing the pellejos on my
That's part of the
knuckles,
flavor of the pastel.
But I saw that there's a machine now that is
No, you can't do it with a
specifically-
machine.
No, it's a machine that is only to make masa.
Okay.
And I'm tempted. I'll
Yeah.
never get around to doing it. I know I will.
Okay, so one of my last questions for you guys. If our viewers are thinking of getting into the career that you guys have successfully navigated, what advice would you give to some newcomers? People like my daughter who's graduated from musical theater.
Yeah. I would say if you want to teach, then, get your master's, do the whole thing, if you want to teach. But don't go broke. Don't go broke going $100,000 in the hole, because there's no guarantees. You can learn these skills. There's master classes, there are smaller classes, HB Studios. You can find really great teachers and do it without, finding yourself in your late 50s and still paying off your student loan. This is not guaranteed. Being an artist is not a guarantee. So you don't have to do that route to be legit. And just do it, you know? Don't wait for somebody else to give you permission or to be like somebody else or to ever compare yourself to anyone. You are you. And the earlier we accept who we are with all of our weirdness, then you're going to inspire people in the room. And they're going to want to create something for you. You're like nobody else. Just love yourself.
Love it. Thank you, Liza.
You're welcome.
Well, you know, there really isn't a formula. There isn't a formula. If you find that this is something in your heart that you want to do, then you have to just do it. And the success will come if it comes, or it may not. But the one way for sure that it will not come is if you quit. So you don't quit. If it's something that's in your heart, it's something that you love doing. My first acting class, I realized, oh, this is it. This is what I'm going to do. I wasn't even thinking about where I was going to be successful or not. The fact is, this is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to stay in the game as long as I can, regardless of whatever happens. And, you know, I took small classes and, you know, workshops, and, you know, I got involved, and I loved it. You know, you got to love it. You got to love it to do this. And if you love it and you just stay with it, it'll happen or it won't happen, but for sure it won't happen if you just stop and quit. So that's mostly what I would say to that.
And
yes.
I just wanted to add,
Yes.
Be a professional. Come in on time, come in prepared, do your best. You ain't James Dean, don't try to be cool and moody and whatever. It's unnecessary. Keep yourself healthy. Therapy. You know, we have this idea that somehow you have to be a long-suffering, angst-ridden to be, no, that actually takes you away from the deeper levels and clarity of what you could find in this role. So take care of yourself and be a pro.
And also, acting isn't a lonely profession. You have to find connections with other artists, with other writers, other directors, other actors. And if you find a community, you find opportunities. And that's been really important for me, is being involved in a community where I can sense this is, you know, we're in the same tribe here. We're in the same, you know, mindset of what we want to do, the artists we want to be. And to do it alone eventually is just find a community that you can do that with. And that's really important. It's important to keep you in the game.
Love it. Thank you both for sharing your
be
wisdom and
kind.
sharing your time with us.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you
for having us.
Good
Appreciate it. Thank you.
So much.